You are listening to the SDSU podcast presented by the East Village Times with your hosts Andre Hagberdian and Paul Garrison. Welcome, listeners, to another episode of the SDSU podcast. I am your host, Andre Hagberdian, and we'll be joined, as always, by Paul Garrison shortly. Today, we have episode 73, and includes an interview with class of 2024 commit for San Diego State football, Foster Slaughter. Slaughter is a safety who just transferred to Bishop Alemany High School to play his senior season. Foster is the cousin of another class of 2024 commit for San Diego State, Stacy Bay, who was on one of our earlier episodes recently. So it was really cool to chat with him. He was one of the more fired up and energized commits that we have interviewed. I think you guys will feel that energy from him for sure as you listen to the interview. And then Paul and I will be back to give our thoughts and takeaways from the interview afterwards. So hope you enjoy it. We want to welcome Foster Slaughter to the SDSU football podcast. How are you doing tonight, man?
What's up, man? What's up, everybody? Go last. Thanks.
You committed to San Diego State about 2 months ago, March 31st, one of the first members of the class of 2024. How did it feel to commit to becoming an Aztec?
The stress, it felt great. It felt great just knowing you're home, knowing you're safe. You don't have to worry about anything else happening. It's literally, it feels great. It feels great. I don't know what else to say about it. It's like, it's home. It's right there.
Can you kind of walk us through your recruiting process? You know, what other schools were in your, final list, and why ultimately San Diego State was the place to be?
The thing is, it wasn't really like a final list. It was just like, I felt like this is the place. Why do I play? Like, if I feel like this is the place and I feel like this is right, I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna go with it. Like, I talked to all the offers I have. I talk to the coaches. Still talk to the coaches. It's just, I feel like right now at that point, and still right now, this is the school I want to be at. This is where I want to. Like, right now, I'm on pace to be an early graduate student.
Mm-hmm.
So getting everything figured out. I'm having my official soon. I'm gonna be posting that. I'm having that soon. It's right there by home. Like I said in my article, it's 40 minutes away. My cousin committed. He the one that made the flip. When my cousin Stacy Bay, when he called me, like, he was at the facility. He called me. He said, "Cousin, I just committed." I wasn't believing it. I'm like, bro, stop lying. Like, don't no. But we all had a dream when we was at Alma together. We like, bro, I like this. Like, I know how we split. We split from the high schools. I went to this high school, he went to that high school for reasons. And he like, bro, I miss playing together. I miss waking up in the morning, going to school, working out together. Like, I'm like, I missed it. Like, I missed it. It felt so right. So I'm like, okay, let me go see what San Diego State talking about. When I was in Orange County driving to go see San Diego State with my Trillion Boys team. I went in there. First thing it was Slaughter. I'm like, okay. We watching film. Everybody's taking pictures. We up there watching film, watching how they play and watching how they do this. It's like, and the defensive coordinator came in straight up. We want you. Not that let it play out. Then I'm gonna say it. No, he came in straight up saying, we want you. We need you. And I'm like, I'm here. Like, let's build this relationship. Then I'm driving home because I was in OC. Now I'm driving back where I live at. I'm driving home. I'm like, dang, 40 minutes? It's a 40 minutes drive. Like, it was really crazy just thinking. Then they said, come out to the spring game. I'm coming out to the spring game. I'm with my cousin, Stacy. I'm with J-Bug, with my other cousin, Houston. We all just watching the spring game. I'm looking. They over here talking. They was like, you won't commit. Yeah, I'm playing with it. I'm like, it's crazy part is, I said, if they score this touchdown right now, I'm gonna commit. If you was at the spring game, I don't know if you was watching it. You saw how
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
low. It was a low
Yeah,
scoring game. It was a low scoring
right.
game. So I was like, if they scored a touchdown, I would commit. They scored. I was like, the part of me just joking, a part of me was for real, like let's do this.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm ready. So that really I knew it was something because that game could have went on with that defense. The defense was going crazy on both sides. I loved it.
Yeah.
Great story, man. You already mentioned that you're planning to enroll early. Has it set in for you that this is your last spring semester of high school?
Yeah. It said it very like just understanding like I won't have this opportunity again. You won't have this opportunity. Like it's crazy. I told my mom, I'm like, "Ma, I can't go to prom." But she told me how everything works. So I was
Right.
tripping about that. Then I was like, "Oh, mom." I would never call my mom because the seniors had senior dish day. I'm like, "Mom,
Mm-hmm.
can I go do senior dish day?" Because I'm like, I told my mom I won't be able to do it. But anyway, nah, I didn't do it. I stayed. I stayed. But it was just, I don't know. It's going to hit more. I'm feeling like the way, but we just ended with spring ball right now. So it's now the break we have. We have finals coming up. So me just work. I don't know. I feel like I've been worried about school more than spring ball this right now because learning, I'm hearing I could graduate early. So know I could graduate early. I was on it. It was just like, yeah, let's go practice. I'm at home. I'm doing homework. Like, it's so crazy. I'm sorry. I'm talking a lot.
Doing great.
It's all
It was
good.
so crazy that I'm just saying it's the recent practice. I had homework, and we usually have study hall before practice. This is supposed to be a quick practice. I had my cleats on, my shorts on, came out with my iPad doing work. Got cussed out, but coach, like he sees that, he see me trying, and he understands. So it's just showing I'm dedicated to do what I have to do.
So then tell me, what's your reason for wanting to enroll early and get that competition going at the next level?
Me enrolling early, I feel like they could know me more. It's easy. I'm not perfect. I'm gonna have mistakes, but I'm hoping to erase the minor mistakes I have in the little high school minor mistakes, the young mistakes, and by fall, I should be the little stuff, the little stuff I had, it will be gone. Then learning more, and it's I don't know, man. Let's be real. Do not be in them dorms for a year. Go get an apartment, but nah. I just feel like I could learn the defense more, be more with the team bonding, understand because I heard something about you have to know the whole team name. So hey, break it down early because I'm not gonna lie. Some teammates, I just transferred to this school and I've been here for half a semester, and I don't even know my whole team name. So that's something I need to work on. I can actually start doing that right now to try to get used to it. But yeah, I just feel like why not? Why not go early and waste time and come in the fall and doing what you're gonna do? Might because I feel like this. I'm sorry. I go to the fall, it's like a more chance I have to redshirt. If I go to the spring, it's a less chance I have to redshirt. But I'm not playing no redshirt. I'm planning on playing. But it's just the
Yeah.
odds and yeah.
You mentioned you were at the spring game. What did you think about Snapdragon Stadium and your thoughts about playing in there?
The crazy thing, the first one I thought about, it was big. I didn't know where I was at. I loved it. I didn't go in the locker room. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
go in the locker room that day, but seeing it as my class is coming, the class I'm coming to, knowing we finna be in the Pac-12 or the Big 12, knowing it's going to be a whole different change. It's just like it's crazy. It's really crazy. But I love the stadium, beautiful stadium. Got everything by it. San Diego, it's a beautiful place.
You also talked about your cousin and his impact on your decision. Obviously, that's Stacy Bay. We had him on the podcast 2 episodes ago. Great to chat with him. But what was it about Stacy that was so important in your process? You talked about growing up with him and wanting to play, but how much trust do you have in him when he calls you and tells you this is where you want to be, that it is where you want to be?
All my trust is to him. He was with me when on my lowest at Almont. Me having bad practices, then end up saying, let's go get this. Like, I don't know. It's just something about that type of person, him, who he is. You can always you can barely meet him and you can just trust him. It's just that type of person. And like knowing him, smart, he gonna tell you the real and he not gonna tell you the fake. He gonna be straight up to you when you don't want to be straight up, but he gonna really realize, like, thank you. Like, I needed that. I needed to somebody to put me in my place, somebody to show me where to go. So when he come in telling me like, hey, you need to come check this out. He didn't say come. He didn't tell me to come commit. He said, come check it out. Right. Give it a chance. Come check it out. I said, I got you. It wasn't like, okay, let me go see this. Let's start a whole new recruiting thing. Let's go see. Now I was like, I got you. I trust him. When I came check it out, I loved it. Like, and I'm really thinking, if me and him was mad at each other, like if me and him arguing, mad at each other, if me and him arguing and he'd be like, oh, come check it out type stuff, I probably would have been like really have to think. And probably would have said no. That's just how I am. That's how I am. But no, I'm happy. I'm happy. We don't. That's not us. Us argue. It's gonna be 2 seconds. Then we gonna be cool with it. It's. That's why I don't know. He's just the type of person you just gotta trust. He got you.
That's it, man. There was a couple of other commits, Fiend Wright and Terrell Cooks, and could you give us a little scouting report on them?
Oh, that boy's fast. He's fast. Cool person. Go to Sierra Canyon. Played him against last year. We had a battle. You gonna get speed out of him. You gonna get it. Hard work out of him, and he's just gonna come do what he gonna do. That's a great catch. Great catch. And I was excited for that. I didn't even know what was going to happen. It came out of nowhere for me. I was just like, dang. Like, we got to. It was hard. It was hard. So, and I love how the class is building. I'm guessing how many commits do we have? We have a few.
5.
We have 5 commits, and a lot of schools don't even have their first commit. 5 commits for the spring, and you never know what's going to happen in the summer. So that's why I like that. The safety from corner safety from the school my cousin just went to, Rancho Cucamonga. I see him solid for sure. That's I'm happy about that. I feel like we all, and I'm trying to get somebody else too, but I can't really speak on it right now. But he know who I'm trying to get. That boy, Gaines, Sire. I'm trying to get my boy. He just went to a visit. Trying to get him over here. We talking. We had to. Grew up with each other from the sandbox. We had to talk about who we want to play with each other in college. Yes, we gotta see when he commits. So I'm always in his ear. So whatever he do, I'm gonna be proud for Aztecs.
So you mentioned the group of commits and how quickly you guys have already all jumped on board and committed to the Aztecs. Is there anything that you all can do now to kind of help with that togetherness and chemistry as you all are thinking about playing together for years on the Mesa?
Anything we could do now. I would say 7-on-7, but 7-on-7 is even over. But anything we could do now is just talk. Really, talk and get used to each other, being around each other. Actually, let's go work out together. Let's go do these workouts. Let's be great. Let's be better when we go to San Diego State. They're like, okay, this is the first time we had a class came in. It was working.
Yeah.
They wasn't like, this. They came in ready. We could be the first and mini. We're gonna be the first class in the Pac-12 over Big 12. That's one big goal. That's one big thing of one of mine. So I committed. Be the first class doing this. Be the first class that they came in like, oh, these is guys. These is guys and everything. So it's just a lot. So that's why I'm happy how everything is going.
You transferred from Bishop Amat to Bishop Alemany for your final season. What was behind that move?
Is behind that move. It wasn't really a lot. It was just we all just took our separate ways. It was just like Bishop. I love to Bishop. Love Bishop Lamont. It's not for everybody. It's just not for everybody. It just happened. It really is. It just happened. But always got love for Bishop Lamont from Coach Haggerty and Coach Coley. Everybody up there always got love. They know.
This fall, you get a chance to play a high school game in San Diego against Lincoln. You know, they won a state title last year, but their only loss was to the high school you're at now. So, you know, no doubt Lincoln has that game circled on the calendar. How excited are you to come play in San Diego against them?
I'm excited. It's going to be a show. Like, I'm not the type of person that I talk when I'm on the field, but I got too much respect. I would be saying something right now, but I got too much respect for Lincoln because I know players that went there, know players that was there. The running back that just went to Georgia, that's my guy. We talked. He still didn't give me that Ethica deal. We're going to still talk on that. But that's one game I'm very, very excited to. I'm looking to do my official after that game, but I don't know if I'm gonna do it earlier or do it after that game because I'm gonna be in San Diego already. But that game, that's the game. Like that's the game I've been looking at too. So I'm happy for that one.
For people who haven't seen your game, give us the details, man. How do you describe it?
You're gonna see a slaughter. It's gonna be a body on the floor every second. Every time I'm on the play, somebody's gonna be on the floor for me. I'm always gonna be there with a tackle. He could be all the way on the other side of the field. I promise you. If I don't get him, I'm gonna be right there. I'm never no plays off. I'm gonna keep going till I can't run no more. And I yell at my coaches when they want to take me out when I'm tired. I'll be tired, but like I'm happy they tell me they take me out, but I won't say it. But they know. But I don't know. It's just my man, it's gonna be dangerous this season. I promise you. Man coverage is way better. You're gonna see that a lot from me. Me going against the top receiver in the class of 2025, 5-star Phillip Bell every day at practice.
Yeah.
And he's in the house with me right now. We go work every time. Like you're gonna see a whole different slaughter and a more aggressive one and a more smart one. Not the one that just run around to go hit, but more who gonna run around and really get you when that spot coming. But nah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. You gonna hear me talking loud, dancing. I got my team hyped and coaches love by me because I feed like my teammates feed off my energy. If I'm at practice and it's a dead day, it's a dead day for everybody. If I'm at practice, it's a hype day. Everybody hype. It's like you can ask anybody about me how Slaughter. Everybody gonna tell you what Slaughter is. Like at 7:07, like he do not go to sleep. He's the only one with music blasting in the hotel. So you can just know everything about me. I'm just that guy you always want to be around with. I'm proud of friends and brothers and relationships I had with everybody around me who always know this the guy don't have no problems with. You just be cool. That's it.
So is there anyone that you particularly pay attention to, study, maybe model your game after a little bit?
It's a lot. It's definitely a lot. It's crazy. I got so deep in it, and I look at people who's in high school now. It's crazy. I'm not gonna do a name it because I don't want to seem like I'm watching them a lot. But it's just watching people techniques, learning people different techniques is great. But Sean Taylor always gonna be my number one safety. Always. College film. It's just NFL film, pro game. You saw Pro Bowl. You saw it's his energy do not stop for anything for anyone. That's why I really mess with it.
So you're committed as a safety, which means you're going to play under safety coach Kyle Hoke.
Yes, sir.
The players call him Little Hoke or Baby Hoke, compared to head coach. What have you learned about him through this process, and how excited are you to play for him?
Great guy. He know what he's talking about. Whatever he tell you, I promise you, he's not telling you no BS. He ain't telling you nothing. He gonna tell you straight up, and he know what he's talking about. I love being on the phone with him. We just got a recent off the phone talking about because he thought it was coming when my brother went. went over there to visit. He thought I was coming in. He was like mad because I didn't see him yet. We never. I only saw him at the spring game, but we never had that sit down and talk because the day I went, I think he was out of town or it was something he had to do, and I was with Coach Summer. So me and him relationship already is we're locked. So everything with him, great guy, great guy.
Well, with the Aztecs playing, the three safety look, maybe it's too early for this, but have you guys had a discussion about which one of the three spots you may be best suited for?
Nickel, hybrid. They want me to go play down, go blitz, go play man, go be a boy.
Yeah.
And I like that position very, very. I wish more. I wish we do that position at high school a little bit more.
Yeah.
As that position is a dangerous position if you know how to play it. So that's why I've been working on me. So at Allen Manny right now, I can't say too much because I don't know listening, but I'm going down and play linebacker. And I'm going down and play safety. So it's really learning how to blitz, learning how to read run gaps, learning how to do that, then going back to safety, playing my man, and going and play corner too. So it's building and training on the side, learning about it. So I feel like I'm gonna do great at that position, but anything could change. I might grow 2 inches a little. And they're like, okay, like I don't know, anything could change.
That's exciting, man. You mentioned the Power Five conferences a couple of times. The school's athletic director has made some very public declarations. A lot of stuff had been private behind the scenes, but he's been public recently saying, Big 12, big Pac-12, one of those two. Just what is your general thoughts when you hear the leadership of the school be that open and public about that?
I mean, any ideas you could say, he gonna see it. Like you playing a video game. I don't know if y'all play Madden, but might get off track right here. But if you play Madden, you be like, dang. Like you be telling, like, oh, can you fix this game? Can you fix this? Can you do that? And it'd be hard for them to try to fix it because they don't listen to the people and they don't be public with it a lot. But for games that do be public, what they're doing, they listen to ideas, what people saying. The ideas you need to listen to is the coaching staff. They gonna tell you the right. fans gonna be there and say what you want to do, but the coaching staff is gonna tell you the right. But I love it. I love it showing everybody engaged. We don't know what they're finna do. I don't even know what we're gonna do. Everybody engaged, just learning. I'm waiting. I'm finna hear the same thing when y'all hear it. I'm waiting for they be like, they might mess around and say SEC. Many, but we don't know. But it's very exciting. But whatever they choose, whatever conference stay, go, I'm with it.
Awesome, man. Great answer. We got some rapid fire, non-football related, man. Just an opportunity for Aztec fans to get to know you a little bit better. So, starting off, brother, what is your favorite food?
Favorite food? Ooh, seafood. Got to. My mama, Lorena's Kitchen. I better go get some. Seafood for sure.
Is that a family thing?
Yeah, my mom, she have her own catering thing, and she know how to throw down. And my favorite thing is seafood, or my favorite dish actually is her potato soup. But my favorite food, you can't go wrong with seafood.
That's great. That's great. What about your favorite movie or TV show?
My favorite TV show right now is Power. I'm messing with Power right now. Tyreek, that's my guy. Messing with Power. Favorite movie, never changed. Black Panther. But my favorite series of a movie, I might go. I like Fast and Furious. I need to go watch. No, I'm sorry. I lied. Transformers. I'm sorry. Fast and Furious is next. Transformers.
Yeah, I keep telling Andre, man, this is always every time we talk to young men on this podcast, man, the stuff that you all say, it dates us because it fits that you would say Transformers, but for me, I'm like, that's a little kid movie. And I'm like, oh, that's right, I'm getting older. Yeah. How about your favorite musical artist?
Lil Durk. Got to. He just dropped the album right now, so after we done, I'm just gonna listen to that. But Lil Durk, I listen to a lot of music.
Okay. Now we just got done recording with Vi Kavo, a senior linebacker at State, and he said that in the locker room, it's the first person who plugs into the auxiliary is kind of the person who gets to be the DJ. And he says, based off of whether or not people are vibing to it or not, they get to keep playing it, or somebody's going to switch out. Are you the kind? I mean, I think I know my answer, man. But are you the kind of person to get the auxiliary, plug your phone in, and let it loose for the Aztecs?
Tell the 10, they already know. My school. Hey, who got the speaker? Slaughter. They already know. Everybody gonna be lit. But me and my coach, shout out Coach CJ, he be having days if he switch with me, then everybody know I'm not on a speaker because the type of music, you feel me? But we didn't boo boo.
What is he? Come on now, you got to put him on blast here. What kind of music?
I can't. You feel me? It just be music that I don't know, like it just be music like we be like to vibe, we be like to rap to stuff. We be like to, you feel me? He puts on stuff we can really rap to. It's like, this is one of those.
Fair enough. Outside of football, do you have a professional athlete that you look up to that you enjoy watching?
Outside of football, Angela Reese, LSU.
Nice. National champion.
Try to give me one of those.
No doubt.
I like how I just like how she's using herself as like a business side. How she got the Barbie thing. What she doing? It's just how she promoting herself. It's like, dang. When I get in college, I need to learn just what she doing. It's just like smart. She said, "Why would I go to the WNBA if I'm making more money in college with people making a W?" It's like, it's smart. So knowing that, but being real, like that's like I realize now who I'm looking up to, like just business wise and how to move myself. But always a kid, it's LeBron. I don't know everybody gonna say LeBron. I'm from California, SoCal, so it's always.
And he's done very well on the business side as well for himself. What's your favorite hobby or things that you're doing, man, when you are not playing football? And
favorite hobby, I could say working out because I don't mean it's always for football, but really I like making music. But it's like, I don't know, I just like expressing myself by writing, and really.
Do you record the music?
When I get a chance, it's like once in a while.
Very cool.
But a lot, it's just in a car. Someone put a beat on, they know who's finna freestyle. It's one of them. Yeah.
Is there anything online that Aztec fans could go and find?
Nah, it's nothing.
Not like that. Okay. I mean, sometimes there's a stray YouTube video somewhere, or some little thing.
That's
so you already mentioned, man, that you are a scholar. You are planning to graduate early, bring in the iPad to practice to make sure you can get that stuff in at times. So I know that your education is important to you, man. What kind of subjects do you like to study? Have you thought about a possible major or maybe some ideas of what you're thinking about when you get to state?
Business. Entrepreneur. Learn how to do that. But I was really like trying to really think of something else. I'm in ceramics right now in high school. Just made a pinata and I left it in class. I just realized I just made a pinata and it's a San Diego State pinata. It's hard. I sent it. It's made, so I made it red, blue. Red, black, and white, and I put my picture my committed flyer on it on the front. And they was like, "We finna hit it." I'm like, "Nah, I'm not hitting it." Then someone told me you should put it in your dorm. I'm low key. I was like, low key, that might be the move. Put it in my dorm, but I'm tripping because I forgot it. And low key, I'm sad right now thinking about it.
I would love to see it.
I'll see your picture for sure. I think
Perfect. Man, great interview, brother. Thank you. Did a great job, and congratulations. Like you said, getting that stress and everything off your shoulders and being able to kind of lock in on the season and everything that you're doing, man. Thank you for taking the time, man. Great job.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, Paul. Foster Slaughter. We have talked to a lot of high school commits, and all of them have been genuinely impressive based on how old they are and their conversations and way of speaking and answering our questions. But I would have to say Foster's was one of my favorites just because just the pure energy from the minute he hopped on to the end was something to behold, and you can see why a lot of people gravitate to him, not just as a player, but as like a person and a teammate. And it was just, a lot of passion, a lot of fire. He's definitely a guy that San Diego State fans should be really excited about for all of those reasons.
No, without doubt. And I mean, I echoing that, I think when you see somebody on the field who is boisterous, who is talking, who is doing all of that, I think some of the, old school kind of mentality, it kind of rubs people the wrong way still. So I thought it was really great to be able just to see his full personality, because why on earth would you ever want to bottle that up? Except if you could somehow sell it. I mean, like it's infectious, right? I mean, it's what it's what you want. I got 4 kids, right? I want them to have that exuberance about life. I want them to be able to be passionate about what they're doing, regardless of whatever that is. And so, when you see a young man who is that passionate, it's like, man, run with it. Go be you. And again, it doesn't mean that you can't be passionate and subdued. That's not it at all. It's just like the authenticity of what that young man, who he is and how he brought that across. I think above anything, that just stood out to me because, it's challenging. We're not intimidating, as hosts, but we are adults. This is something that's going to be put out publicly. This is their first introduction to the fan base. People are different. They're different when they get on here versus, how they normally are in life or whatever. And just his ability to just be him, I thought is what the thing that I'm going to walk away most about, our conversation with him.
I love some of his stories up through his recruitment. Like, he came on his visit. He's like, most guys go take pictures during their visits. I'm watching film with the coaches. Kurt Maddox comes in and says, we want you. Not like, oh, we like you, we might want you here. He was like, no, we want you, right? I love the story he said about at the spring game when he was telling his friends, like, if they score a touchdown here, I'm going to commit. Things like that you don't typically hear them, saying. They don't get asked about it or they don't share that. So I thought that was really cool. The Stacey Bay factor, where Stacey's here on his visit and he calls him and he says, you got to check them out because they'll fit you. They'll fit what you're looking for. All of those kind of ball up into like why San Diego State has done such a great job recruiting this area, the Southern California area, and especially on defense. The old adage is they have no problem recruiting top end talent at defense, but not on offense. Well, we're seeing that a lot in this class too, with some really top end defensive players. It shows a lot about how they trust in the coaches, how they trust in their position coach, the defensive coordinator, the head coach, and they want to be Aztecs. And they want to bring their friends over. Like Sire, he talked about Sire Gaines. Sire, as we're recording this, Sire Gaines is on his official visit with a bunch of some other guys as well. But he was kind of putting out the challenge to Sire Gaines to commit too, in a friendly manner, obviously. And so we'll see where that ends up. And it's just really, it's cool to see these guys bonding before they've even stepped onto campus. So really exciting how this class is coming together and how it could still get even better.
No, I agree. And I think the interesting part too, there's so many elements of it, but Coach Sumler, who, obviously the San Diego guy, has been part of the program for a long time. I think, he, as the area recruiter, which he's formerly the area recruiter, they just switched it with Coach Beal, but that he was able to develop a relationship with these guys. I thought he came out in the conversation looking like a star and just I think that shining that light on it, I thought was pretty cool. But I agree with you. I loved his description of Stacey Bay. I'm a people person, and I'm not like
people in general. I'm like a few people who I really appreciate and kind of think about it that way, or maybe the person who's in front of me, that's the person who's the most important to me, or at least that's the ideal. Having that personal belief, and then just seeing that like these young men are talking about, again, the description, Sire Gaines, we were in the sandbox together. I didn't even know kids were allowed to play in sandboxes anymore. Maybe it's in the Empire thing, but that they said, and we've talked about this is what we want to do in college. And look, we have the opportunity. And so when Stacey Bay calls him up and says, "Hey, I've committed," he's like, "No, you haven't committed." I didn't believe him, but he says, "No, I have, and just check it out." And he said, "Yeah, because it's him, I'm going to check it out." And then, he finds out, and this I find just fascinating because he finds out it's only 40 minutes. Must have got some good made good time, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Which happens occasionally, right? And but I think like people's idea of what San Diego State needs to do and kind of like building a wall around San Diego might just need to extend a little bit further up north, because these guys, they think of it as being home. Their family can come down anytime that they want, and that's completely legitimate. And as USC and UCLA are going to be heading to another conference that is going to be taking them away from Southern California, there is this gaping hole for people who like the climate, for people who like the area, for people who don't want to be, shuttling themselves off every other game or whatever. And I think that in that place, San Diego State can really like make some headway, because again, I mean, there are people who are attracted to being like a national program, right? But
Yeah.
I think there's also people who are very attractive to being able to say like, these area codes, this specific is us. UCLA and USC have definitely chosen the other path, and it seems like there's this opportunity for San Diego State to make headway. I mean, especially as they keep talking about, all of this stuff about going to a power conference.
He wants to enroll early.
Yeah.
We saw how that helped Marcus Ratcliffe.
Yeah.
Ascend to the top of the depth chart, or tied at the top of the depth chart at Aztec. Obviously Patrick McMorris's transfer played a part in that. But he doesn't want a red shirt. But he understands, hey, if I come in the spring, I have a better chance of not having a red shirt and maybe playing right away. So he understands that. I love how his last name is Slaughter, and he uses like when it's going to be a slaughter on the field in terms of his
Yeah.
physical, tackling and putting guys on the ground. I love that. Definitely see an NIL aspect of using that somehow if he can, once he gets here. Yeah, it's he talked about having to defend play coverage against the number one wide receiver in the country. How that's going to help him become a better cover guy, because I think they plan on putting him in a field in the slot. So all that stuff, once again, like all that stuff he can work on as he heads into senior year of high school, and then graduates in December. I love how he was talking about not being able to go to senior ditch today.
No,
and how
I like even better that he called his mom and he said, "Hey, Mom."
Yeah.
Technically speaking.
Yeah, that was great. That attitude, just the vibe of the conversation.
Completely.
It was really good. But he's fired up. He wants to come in and play, and I think he's ready for it. And I'm intrigued to see what he can do in the spring.
I'm actually not gonna quite go that far in advance. Pretty excited about maybe trying to get down to Lincoln, man.
You'll go to that game?
Yeah, man, and just getting to see him, and
do you know what day the game is?
I mean, it's on the schedule. They always start the high school starts a little bit earlier in August, so I always get confused when week 2 is. But yeah, man, I think that could be a lot of fun, because I mean, I know that like I saw somewhere that the school that he's going to, Bishop Alemany, had one of the best like transfer high school classes. They like legitimately rank high school transfers now. And so I'm curious to see, they had a little bit of a down year last year, although they beat Lincoln, just so they had talent. And so just,
August 25th.
yeah, see, man, that might have to be something the Aztec fans should circle, and get down
Yeah.
there and see Foster Slaughter against Lincoln, man. I mean, I bet, oh man, I bet it'd be a lot of fun. I'm there, man. I think that it's interesting that we are talking to these guys so young,
Yeah.
and yet at the same time, it gives real buy-in into like their upcoming seasons. You know what I mean? Like it won't just be that you look at a box score and you go, "Oh, that guy had 8 tackles." Well, no, it's that Slaughter had 8 tackles. You know what I mean? And it's a little bit different. Oh, Stacey Bay, Rancho Cucamonga. Okay, he did that. And then the other guy, Anthony McMillian. Oh, he's doing that. And that should be something we should maybe talk a little bit about, man. San Diego State got a running back commit as well. I think which we've obviously had Anthony McMillan on the podcast,
Yeah.
and great kid, and he's someone who is, as I think we've talked about before, a friend of mine, is his like youth coach and things like that. I think he is the kind of back that it seems like they're trying to kind of go to a little bit, right? As opposed to getting like the smaller backs.
Yeah.
You get him and Lucky Sutton, and you start getting some athletes that can move the pile, play a different brand of smash mouth football. But I think that's another really, really big deal for San Diego and San Diego football. It wouldn't surprise me from what I understand, modern day, one of the best teams in San Diego. I think they're going to feature him. And it would not be like surprising if, he was in the hunt for like the most valuable player in the county. And, when Lucky Sutton did that and then chose San Diego State afterwards, it was like, okay, San Diego's really keeping these guys home. And if McMillian can work really hard and reach some of his own aspirations, I think it just further cements San Diego State as doing what Aztec fans and I think San Diegans have wanted them to do forever, which is to try to keep the best players home.
We spoke to him, I think, in January. He mentioned that San Diego State was recruiting him more as a linebacker
Right.
than a running back, but the other teams were looking at him as a running back. And then now he commits, 5 months later as a running back. So there's a story there probably about when that tide flipped and why and how. But that's all that matters now is that he's committed to becoming an Aztec as a running back. Doesn't mean he can't switch to a linebacker or any other position during his San Diego State career, but it's a good get. His buddy Isaiah Buxton committed to Arizona. Arizona was in Anthony's top 4. I think maybe initially, the bets would have gone towards Arizona, but it was nice to see him come in to San Diego State. Another local guy, Damarion White, who's an edge guy from Granite Hills, who's like, if you look at the rankings on the websites in San Diego, he's up there with Anthony and Isaiah Buxton as like those next, Julian Sane obviously is the highest rated guy in the class of 24 for San Diego, but those 3 guys are kind of clustered, and I haven't looked at it lately, but they were at least as a couple months ago. But Damarion White just went to an official visit in Arizona. I know San Diego State's recruiting him. I don't know how heavy and how actively they are at this point, but he would be another guy, the next guy from this local San Diego guys that hopefully could become a hometown hero too. So, but getting McMillian was a nice get at a good position, and he's another guy. You're right, going and catching some modern day games this year. Should be on the agenda as well.
No, I don't think there's any question. And there is. I mean, there's so many. There's too many guys to name. But I'm gonna name a couple of them. Right, Christian Chapman. He's stayed connected to the football scene. In Carlsbad as a former Aztec. TJ McKay. Freddie Dunkel, DeMarco Sampson, and there's so many different guys. My friend Coach Broswell, who was Anthony's coach. There's so many people who have really tried to raise the level of high school football in San Diego, and they've succeeded. I think it was 2 years ago I wrote that they won their most state titles ever, and it was 3, and then they topped it with 4. And I think both years San Diego has had the most state titles of any other county in the state. And I think all of this stuff just kind of keeps that buzz. And when a recruit, because they got to pick and do what's best for themselves, decides to go elsewhere, right, as is their right and they should do, I think it does a little bit of like, oh man, like their family, their immediate people, all those things, it's wonderful and it's great. But as far as just raising the profile of football in San Diego, it really, when a Noah Tumblin, who we've had on the podcast from Mira Mesa, goes and gets a pair of interceptions in the spring game, and every single television station, and in your recap of it's his words, it's from Mira Mesa High School. I think that matters, and I think it's significant. When KUSI is going and they're showing Tumblin, and then they show him as a quarterback in Mira Mesa, who I love Pigskin Report. They're just incredible what they do in highlighting these kids. So when Anthony did his his thing, and he was like, hey, and he did it on KSI, like that's where it needs to be, because they've done that work to be that in that community. So I think all of these stuffs kind of play together, and I think Anthony's opportunity to play in front of those people, his people that he's close to and stuff like that. And, I can tell you that at least the ones that I know are really excited that was the decision that he made.
Yeah, the KUSI thing is really cool. It reminded me of Jaleel Tucker. Mm-hmm. When he committed to Oregon, he was on KUSI, and I didn't watch this at the time, or I didn't remember it, but when I was researching, when writing the article for Jaleel, when he transferred, I watched it. But like, they were interviewing his dad before he had made the announcement, and his dad was like, oh, he's gonna do great at Oregon. and I think it was Paul Ruddy or one of the Pixing guys like, oh, you just gave it away. It was like a big joke, but like that's a stressful time. That's tough, letting the cat out of the bag. And it was an honest mistake, obviously, and laughed it off, but it took a little bit of the the surprise out when Jaleel, obviously at that point they knew. But yeah, that when you mentioned the KUSI announcement, it made me think of that. But anyway, that's going to do it for us. Hopefully you enjoyed the interview with Foster like we did. The class of 2024 is shaping up, obviously, and more and more guys are committing. Our next episode, you'll get to hear from 2 more guys who had committed as part of the class of 24, so stay tuned for that. And we'll talk to you guys next time. You are listening to the SDSU podcast presented by the East Village Times with your hosts Andre Hagberdian and Paul Garrison.